Here's the new DJI O4 Air Unit Pro. DJI also released a non-pro version, which I call the Lite, and many FPV people call the Lite because it's a lighter version, which is smaller and is meant for like whoops and very light cinewhoops. So the Air Unit looks to be quite the same-ish size. The camera looks quite large, but the Air Unit now has like mounting holes, which is quite nice. Okay, I need to complain about something in this review. This camera, it's really big and beefy, which is good for image quality, but when you're flying FPV, it gets scratched so easily, so you definitely need ND filters. So when comparing the O3 and O4, you can see some differences. The O3 has a nice braided cable, which is less likely to melt if your soldering iron touches it. The O4 doesn't. It has a plastic type cable, which is disappointing, but we can work with it. The antennas, the O3 had, you can see here, one housing but two antennas. The O4 has two antennas. Well, the plugs, most flight controllers have a DJI plug built in, so you can use it. If you want to use an external receiver, so not the one built into these Air Units, just remove this yellow wire, which is the S-Bus, by like taking like some sharp object and just lifting the plug and pulling it out, or just cutting it, so you can use an external receiver. So mounting to your quad. If you want to get an O4 Air Unit Pro, I recommend just getting a new frame that's meant for the O4, or getting an upgrade kit, or creating your own 3D printing files. But I don't understand why DJI made a new mounting design. I get that like the camera is like quite compact and there's a lot of stuff in it, but it would be so much easier for FPV people if the camera mounting was equal. But it looks like it's still a 20mm width camera, so it'll fit into your O3 frames with maybe one screw, or if you get a new 3D printed insert. And mounting, everything else is the same, except for the Air Unit, slightly larger, very slightly. So it should fit without any issues. So for the O3, DJI had a whole mess of compatibility for everything. So for the O4, I'll just set the record straight. It's compatible with the older generation Goggles 2 and Integra without the racing mode, the new fancy racing mode. But if you're gonna race with DJI, just don't, or use HD0 or analog. And if you're gonna use the Goggles 3 and N3, which they're also compatible with, you'll get the new race mode. So smooth sailing from now on. Camera specs. O3 had a f2.8 aperture with a 1/1.7 inch sensor, while the O4 has a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is the same size as the Mini 4 Pro, as well as the f2.8 aperture, which is the same, which is very good. O3 has 4K 60, O4 4K 120, and I'm pretty sure it's the same sensor as the Osmo Action 4 and the Mini 4. So I'm not gonna use a GoPro anymore, or an Action. This is my new Action camera. It's not even in focus. This is my new Action camera. So pricing. The O4 Pro is around $230, which is very expensive. But the O3 was very expensive. They're very good, but if you're gonna do racing, just don't bother with the racing mode. Just use analog or HD0. But freestyle, O3 is great. O4 is even better. And for me personally, I'll be upgrading my cinematic fleet to O4 Pro, and all my O3s are gonna go to my freestyle builds, which is, I'm pretty excited about that because right now I'm running Vistas, which are not as good. But these are very good options in the FPV space. And that sums up my first impressions very nicely. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.